Good day, everyone. I am Tesnia van der Berg. My student number is 271-63490, and welcome to my BPT 1501 Assignment 6 presentation. The topic that I chose to talk about is fractions. We often find ourselves confused about fractions, and the only way to get rid of such confusion is to know the basics of fractions, where it all began, and the adventurous story behind it. But before that, we're going to understand why fractions. Why is there a need to learn about fractions? Fractions helps us understand more advanced math concepts, such as decimals, as well as percentages and so much more. Even relatable situations such as cooking and taking measurements. For example, a quarter of a teaspoon, half a cup of milk. I'm sure it is really relatable to you. I called my lesson the pizza fractions. What better way can we learn the basics of fractions than through a saucy, cheesy, a crispy, crust and choice of your own topping pizza? Now let me give you a lovely background story that I initially came up with and thought that I'd share with everyone else. This is a very lovely story about our couple here, Mrs. Numerator and Mr. Denominator. They have been married for 5 years, and what better way could they celebrate their anniversary than having some pizza? Now you're probably wondering, how can Mrs. Numerator and Mr. Denominator be married but have different surnames? Come on, guys, let's get it straight. They are always divided, just as this yellow line shows us. They are always divided. So I'm guessing their surnames can just rhyme. That's the least they could do, make their surnames rhyme. As Mr. Denominator celebrates his 5-year anniversary with Mrs. Numerator, he celebrates this over 5 pizzas, as we can see here. These are the delicious division, a fraction of love that divides his heart between his lifelong love for pizzas and the love he shares with his wife. So let's take a look at what we mean when we say Mr. Denominator does not play when it comes to pizzas. Now let's have a look at pizza number 1. As you can see here, pizza number 1 has not been divided. There is no slices. Now, do you think Mr. Denominator decided to share? No, he didn't, because there's no slices. Therefore, I think that Mrs. Numerator felt very heartbroken about this, and therefore there's a 0 there, guys. As you can see, there's 0 slices of pizza. Now let's move on to pizza number 2. Pizza number 2, there's actually 2 pieces of pizzas there, but this line here actually looks like it is 4. It's not 4, guys. Disclaimer, this is just paper that might look like it is 4, but it's actually just these 2 here. So Mrs. Numerator, guys, I didn't tell you this, but Mrs. Numerator loves barbecue sauce on her pizza, and as we can see here, Mr. Denominator felt very bad that he didn't share his pizza with Mrs. Numerator, and therefore he cut it into 2. So initially he had a pizza, initially he cut it into 2, therefore our denominator is 2. But then he decided to share 1. As you can see, the barbecue sauce that shows and indicates that that's Mrs. Numerator's piece of pizza. Therefore, she got 1 out of the 2 pieces that Mr. Denominator had initially. So it's 1 out of 2 equal pieces of pizza. Next, we're going to have a look at the next pizza. We can see that there's a total of 3 pieces, and as we can already know, Mr. Denominator owns the pizza and decides to cut it into 3. So therefore, our fraction will have a 3 at the bottom and a 1 on top. Why are we saying a 1? Because he then decides to just give 1 piece to Mrs. Numerator, thus making it a 1/3 fraction. There we can see 1 out of 3 equal pieces of pizza. So 1 piece was given to Mrs. Numerator, and the 3 initially was Mr. Denominator's pieces of pizza. Next, now we're moving on to our 4th piece of pizza. As you can see here, I think Mr. Denominator got very tired of not sharing with his wife. Therefore, he decided to give her two this time. Out of the four pieces, he decides to take out two. So therefore, at first, he had four of the pizzas, as we can see, four pieces of pizzas. Therefore, our denominator is four, and he decides to share two out of those four pieces. Therefore, we see that our fraction becomes now 2 over 4. In the end, Mr. Denominator realizes the importance of his wife and the role that she plays in his life, and therefore decides to cut the piece of pizza into into 12 slices, sorry. So as you can see at the denominator, there is 12 slices, but out of the 12, he decides to share and give his wife 6 pieces out of that 12. So therefore, our fraction represents the 6 out of 12, showing how he has shared the 6 pieces from the 12 pieces that he already had. Therefore, the 6 represents the numerator, which is the 6 that he gave Mrs. Numerator, and then the 12 represents the 12 pieces he initially had before he shared with Mrs. Numerator. Therefore, it shows us that there's 6 out of 12 pieces of pizza. Now, in conclusion, we have learned the basics of fraction, and we can see that fractions are the toppings that make math deliciously meaningful. Mr. Denominator and Mrs. Numerator showed us that sharing pizzas can be a recipe for success. So let's not forget the basics. Let us not forget that Mr. Denominator is the owner of our pizza initially, and he is the one that shares with Mrs. Numerator, and therefore we understand the relationship between the two. As we slice through life's problems, understand that Mrs. Numerator and Mr. Denominator will help us solve our solutions. So let us understand next time that Mr. Denominator is the one that is the owner of the pizza, and Mrs. Numerator gets to wait for Mr. Denominator to share the pizza with her. So bon appetit, my maths lovers. I hope you all enjoyed this lesson and or the presentation, and thank you so much for watching.